Hello, BookTube, and welcome back to Psalm Sunday. This is an informal series on this channel where we go through the Psalms in the Bible, one at a time, and look at a number of different translations of each psalm. Because 99.9% of people who want to experience these things, and you all should, they are beautiful, will be experiencing them in translation. Translation takes center spot. It is incredibly important. And you all know by now my dictum when it comes to translation, which is that you should not care what the scholars say. Not at first. Once you become in love with the work, whether it's, Beowulf or the Greek tragedians or the Psalms, once you become in love with the work, then you can worry about every last little thing and have a ball doing it. But just to experience the thing, the key should be, do you like the translation? Whether the critics or the scholars say the translation is good or not. Do you like it? Can you live with it for the length of time that you're reading the work? So we're going through a psalm at a time in a few different translations and picking out questions that arise. This is a fun thing to do with friends, for instance, on a Sunday. Provided you're courteous about it, go to your local big bookstore if you have one. They are the only place likely to have a large selection of Bibles. Gather a few of them and pick one particular passage, doesn't have to be a psalm, and read different translations and note the differences. Note what the differences are and why they might be there. It's fascinating. Absolutely fascinating to do. Of course, if you have a non-fundamentalist church, you could do this as a kind of informal Bible study. I'm sure that your pastor would be on board with it, 100%. It's only a very weak faith that is afraid to compare textual differences in these works. So, Let's pick a psalm for today and read three translations. I'm going to work in a new translation today. We will pick Psalm number 57, which is a song of encouragement, a song of devotion. And in the King James Bible, that's the first one we'll do, is the King James Bible. It goes like this: Be merciful unto me, O God, be merciful unto me, for my soul trusteth in thee. Yea, in the shadow of thy wings I will make my refuge until these calamities be overpast. I will cry unto God most high, unto God that performeth all things for me. He shall send from heaven and save me from the reproach of him that would swallow me up. God shall send forth his mercy and his truth. My soul is among lions, and I lie even among them that are set on fire, even the sons of men, whose teeth are spears and arrows, and their tongues a sharp sword. Be thou exalted, O God, above the heavens. Let thy glory be above all the earth. They have prepared a net for my steps. My soul is bowed down. They have digged a pit for me, into the midst of whereof they have fallen themselves. My heart is fixed, O God, my heart is fixed. I will sing and give praise. Awake up, my glory. Awake, psaltery and harp. I myself will awake early. I will praise thee, O Lord, among the people. I will sing unto thee among the nations. For thy mercy is great unto the heavens, and thy truth unto the clouds. Be thou exalted, O God, above the heavens. Let thy glory be above all the earth. So that is the King James Version, and you can see right away the liturgical beginnings of that. That is obviously meant to be chanted or sung in a mass worship, in a worship service. It's not actually a poem so much as an invocation. It's a church service, but most of these are. So that is the King James. Now we're going to do a little bit of a wrinkle. We're going to do a new international version. I found this at a little free library, and I have neglected to use it. So for this particular Psalm Sunday, we will not be dealing with a translation that is by just one person. All three of these translations are by committee. So let's see what we make of Psalm 57 in the New International Version. Have mercy on me, O God. Have mercy on me. For in you my soul takes refuge. I will take refuge in the shadow of your wings until the disaster has passed. I cry out to God Most High, to God who fulfills his purpose for me. He sends from heaven and saves me, rebuking those who hotly pursue me. God sends his love and his faithfulness. I am in the midst of lions. I lie among ravenous beasts, men whose teeth are spears and arrows, whose tongues are sharp swords. Be exalted, O God, above the heavens. Let your glory be over all the earth. They spread a net for my feet. I was bowed down in distress. They dug a pit in my path, but they have fallen into it themselves. My heart is steadfast, O God. My heart is steadfast. I will sing and make music. Awake, my soul. Awake, harp and lyre. I will awaken the dawn. I will praise you, O Lord, among the nations. I will sing of you among the peoples. For great is your love, reaching to the heavens. Your faithfulness reaches to the skies. Be exalted, O God, above the heavens. Let your glory be above all the earth. Very similar. Yes? There we have there are two main images here that are coming out. Most of it is just, I will praise you, I will take refuge in you, your truth will go before me, your truth will save me. There are two stanzas here that have imagery in them, that are something to think about. One is the narrator of the poem being set among lions and the sons of men, whose teeth are like spears. And the second is retribution for those sons of men, for the evil people that beset the narrator. But the retribution does not come from God. That bit about how they've dug a pit for my feet, but they've fallen into it themselves. Right? In that stanza, we are not being told they dug a pit for my feet, but you thrust them into it. They've made their own problems. The narrator's still calling on God for mercy, but the only retribution in the poem, the only setting things right, is by happenstance or through the hubris of the enemies of the narrator, not through God. So those two things are interesting. They are signature features of the psalm. Now we'll move on to the Jerusalem Bible and see what it has to say for Psalm 57. Take pity on me, God. Take pity on me. In you my soul takes shelter. I take shelter in the shadow of your wings until the destroying storm is over. I call on God the Most High, on God who has done everything for me, to send from heaven and save me, to check the people harrying me. May God send his faithfulness and love. I lie surrounded by lions, greedy for human prey. Their teeth are spears and arrows, their tongue a sharp sword. Rise high above the heavens, God. Let your glory be over the earth. They laid a net where I was walking, when I was bowed with care. They dug a pitfall for me, but fell into it themselves. My heart is ready, God. My heart is ready. I mean to sing and to play for you. Awake, my muse. Awake, lyre and harp. I mean to wake the dawn. Lord, I mean to thank you among the peoples, to play music to you among the nations. Your love is high as heaven, your faithfulness as the clouds. Rise high above the heavens, God. Let your glory be over the earth. So a little bit, as usual with the Jerusalem Bible, a little bit shorn of any kind of cadence of poetry. Interesting here that a feature that we've seen in the Jerusalem Bible is very much not present here. God is not referred to as Yahweh. But there's also another interesting feature, a feature that is the exact kind of thing I was thinking about when I talk about how much fun this is to do with friends. Who notices what? And what difference does it make? How important is it? A lot of the Bibles that you will deal with, if you do this, I mean, in a retail bookstore or in a Bible study center, you could have 7 or 8 Bibles instead of just 3. A lot of the Bibles that you deal with will have extensive notes. There are Bibles behind me in the background that have extensive notes on all of this. But you'll notice, if you're paying attention, you notice there's one key difference in this. You still get the 2 stanzas that have some sort of imagery or action. One about the narrator being beset by lions, and the other about men, adversaries of the narrator, digging a pit for his feet, but falling into it themselves. But there's a key difference in the part about lions. I don't know if you noticed it. Let's go over it again. I lie surrounded by lions, greedy for human prey. Their teeth are sharp spears and arrows, their tongue a sharp sword. In the 2 other translations that we read, the lions are not the ones with sharp spears and arrows, with teeth that are sharp as spears and arrows. In the New International and in the King James, there are 2 actors involved in that stanza. The narrator is surrounded by lions, and he is beset by the evil sons of men, whose spears and teeth are sharp. Not the lions. Here, the sons of men are gone. And you might think, okay, well, I actually prefer that. I myself prefer it because it simplifies the action. It enhances the drama if it's just lions that are besetting the narrator. But you might ask yourself, apart from what you prefer, what is actually there in the text? Which is the whole point of this exercise and the whole fun of it. What is actually there in the text? Why do the 2 other translations make reference to men? in that stanza? Is it because there is a reference to men in that stanza in the original? Or is it that there's some ambiguity? Notice that the other two versions that we get don't mention that the lions are greedy for human prey. Just that they're greedy, just that they're ravenous, but not for human prey. Here we're told that they're greedy for human prey, their teeth are spears and arrows, their tongue a sharp sword. So is it possible that there's ambiguity in the original? Keep in mind, although this version only says that the lions are besetting the narrator, it does mention people. It just mentions them as prey, not as actors. So is it possible to read this in two different ways, legitimately read it in two different ways, so that we can absolve the New International from simply copying an error in the King James? It's fascinating. You would have to dig around. It's entirely possible to solve these kinds of translational issues on your own. You don't need a scholar to do it. You certainly don't need to go to school to do it. You would have to dig around, though, and find out. The first step would be to notice that difference. The sons of men go away in that stanza. It's just lions. And the second would be for you to dig around and find out where you can determine what is actually in the original and whether or not you prefer it. Right? It is absolutely not sacrilege for you to pick a translation that you really like. You will have your whole life to read and reread these things in any kind of different translation and hash over all these different textual questions. Just a lot of fun to do. So that is Psalm Sunday for today. A nice quick psalm with only a couple of features of interest. So we'll wrap this up for now, and we'll meet again next Sunday. Thank you, BookTube.